Okay, who remembers the classic 1980s, 90s TV game show Blockbusters? I do. I loved it. Well, we've found, David Elstob and I, 8,000 original Blockbuster cards from the studio. Right, audience, you're probably all too young. But who remembers the TV game show Blockbusters? Yeah. Blockbusters, what's it? What was that, madam?
Give us a P, Bob.
Give us a P, Bob, that's it. You were unemployed as well, weren't you? Yeah. Watching Blockbuster, wasn't it absolutely brilliant? Well, today, I think we have quite a find. I don't know whether it's going to be worth a lot of money, but in this box here, we have a collection of questions. Blockbuster questions. Original Blockbuster questions from the studio with little markings on them by Bob, the famous Bob. So you two, introduce yourselves and tell us what we have.
My name's Jane Bradshaw.
And I'm Pete Bradshaw.
Today.
You had to remind yourself about that, didn't you, Pete? Yeah.
Yes, this is my current husband, and these cards were given to me by a friend who used to work for Millionaire and Blockbusters, and she was a journalist, and She worked for Look North and all sorts of places, and she finished her career with Blockbusters as it finished. She was responsible for setting questions and checking them out with Bob.
Checking them out with Bob?
With Bob.
Right.
And she had them in her attic. And she said, you work for a charity, you do a lot with Rotary as well, so why don't we give them to you and you can use them to raise money for charity? I haven't a clue how we're going to do that, unless we have a Blockbusters night, which would be good for
I think that would be, I've always wanted to be Bob. What a job he had. They are the originals, David Elstob, from the studio. Now, we know that film-related memorabilia.
I can't remember the show, to be honest.
Well, you're much too young. He's the youngest in the room. I know. Doesn't it make you sick? It really does. But it's very highly regarded, isn't it?
Apparently so. I mean, I have no idea how to value them.
Well, how many have we got, did we say?
Well, there's 4 boxes like that.
4?
They're too deep in there, so there's about 8,000.
8,000 questions.
As a rough guess.
David, we've got a YouTube chancy. We could make our own game show. Couldn't we?
Yeah. I didn't think there was that many questions in the world.
In the world, I know. Wow, okay. So, but film-related TV stuff is very desirable. It's just a thing. It's a cultural thing. It takes people back in time, to the 80s and probably, 80s, 90s. Halcyon days, happy days watching Bob on TV, asking those questions.
Do you want to answer a question?
Oh, go on then. Well, hang on, we'll test the audience. To me, they don't look very bright, but let's have a look.
Oh, I don't
go
know.
On.
What P means reconstruction Russian style?
Hold on.
Yes.
Perestroika. Give him a round of applause. Where are you from, sir? Moscow?
Don't tell anybody.
Okay, it's all about the money, David Elstob. I mean, if these went into your auction, how on earth would you value them?
I have no idea.
No idea?
I mean,
They've never been sold, ever?
No.
Hang on a minute. Are these actually stolen?
No.
We're
then
sure
I would
of that?
say that, wouldn't
Okay, so we can sell them. What do you think? Take a guess.
I think a box full like that, you could probably get a few £100s for, couldn't you?
Do you think so? And we've got 4 boxes.
Yeah.
So they might put them into auction, might not, but what would you put them in as, the whole collection?
Probably 800 to 1,200, something like that.
Wow.
£200 a box.
What do you think about that? Now, we were talking earlier about the value of Georgian furniture when I was giving a talk. So for 800 quid, you buy a box of questions or the finest sideboard made in 1770 that would cost you £10,000 to make new. The world is bonkers, isn't it? But it makes it interesting, doesn't it? It really does. I think that's fun. What are we going to do? Are we going to sell them?
Well, that's what they're for. They were given to us to sell.
Yeah,
For
I think
chari-
we'll
for
have a
charity,
fundraising
yeah.
night before we do though.
Okay, well, I think David and I need to talk about it as well, because I think we could put a press release out. The papers might pick up on this because it would be a really fun, interesting story.
Yeah.
Shall we? We're going to do something one way
Yeah.
or the other. Brilliant. The things you find at events like this. Give them a round of applause. Well done. Well done.